Please be seated. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the commencement ceremony for Pacifica Graduate Institute's graduating class of 2025. My name is Dylan Francisco, and I'm an assistant professor and co-chair of the Jungian and Archetypal Studies program and a faculty special advisor on the executive leadership team here at Pacifica. I'm also a graduate of Pacifica, and I have the distinct honor of getting this rite of passage started. That is why we are here. But what brought us here? What brings someone to study at Pacifica Graduate Institute? If you're a parent, spouse, relative, or friend of one of our graduates, you may still not be exactly sure what they've studied here. You're not alone. When I told my mom I got accepted into a doctoral program, being the incredibly supportive mother she is, she was thrilled. And then she asked me what I would be studying. I said depth psychology. She went, oh, okay. I'm sure most, if not all, of our degree programs, for all their differences and distinctions, have elicited this response from someone. So before we get started, I want to take a few minutes to explain the what's that of Pacifica. What is this depth we talk about here? For us, depth is a guiding metaphor for our view that humans are more than they appear. And this more is below the surface, like a submerged iceberg, like a tree with extensive invisible roots. The origins and sources of human motivation, behavior, and experience are rooted in a depth that exceeds what we're aware of. This, of course, doesn't mean that we're not interested in what is outwardly observable, only that we read what we observe differently as the manifestation of more than what people think they are doing and saying. We build this view from the basic fact that humans don't always or even often act the way they intend to. Something intervenes. We witness ourselves thinking or feeling things that surprise, sometimes scare, sometimes inspire us. Something different, more destructive and painful, or more creative and beautiful comes out of us than we wanted or expected or can even acknowledge. This difference is the distinction we focus on here. That to understand what is going on within us and around us requires attending to what emerges through these discrepancies between what we can see about ourselves and what our lives actually reveal. I'll use astrophysics to explain what I mean. Astrophysicists have had to come to terms with realities that cannot be seen or directly measured because the way light bends and galaxies move cannot be calculated based on the visible material universe alone. Other things, like dark matter and energy that are physically indetectable, have to be present to make sense of how the cosmos actually operates as a whole. Astrophysicists argue that 95% of the universe is the part that we can't see. That's a lot to leave out if you're not looking for it. It's the same for the psyche. The physically observable is only a small portion of its whole reality. We can't put meaning or a sense for the sacred or creativity on a scale to see what they weigh, yet watch how humans tilt out of balance when these are left down. This is why our students study things as wide-spanning as mythology, eco-psychology, creativity in the arts, indigenous traditions and history, religion and spirituality, politics and liberation psychology, culture and community psychology, philosophy and ideology. We study the dark matter and energy of the psyche. In other words, its depths. The realities that don't show up on a statistical graph or a brain scan, but without which we can have no true view of a whole human being. Trust me, this is no small matter, and this is where I'll end. Humans who are ignorant of their own depths, defining themselves only by what they can see, without reference to the invisible realities that make them whole, will perceive everything through the same reductive eyes, with no sensibility for the meaning and depth, not just of other humans, but of the world itself. The result of this myopic view is the world we see today, not of soulless humans in a dead and meaningless world, but of humans who no longer take the soul into their consideration, and so can treat everyone and everything soullessly. In our view, only a recovery of our sense of soul can address this, both because the soul makes humans whole, and because whole humans are more sensitive and attentive to the presence of soul in everything. That is what we do here. We are the astrophysicists of psychology. As our motto puts it, we are here for the sake of tending soul in and of the world. Thank you. To get this celebration started, I want to welcome our Chumash elder, Art Cisneros, to bless this day for us.
Haku, welcome to the land of the indigenous that first arrived here from the stars. I've been inspired by what I just heard and try to simplify in my perspective what we are. My blessing begins with an invocation, an invitation to all that I believe I am in relationship with. And it begins with the sky at night. That's the beginning of who we are. We're made of stardust, so to speak. And I will continue to express what it is that moves us all. And it begins with, in Chumash, the spark in the mystery. That part of God that we are part of is in my heart also. I am one with God. I am part of God, as so are you. And I've been told that the greatest distance for anyone to travel is from our thinking mind to our emotional heart. Once we can make that journey, we can use our knowledge wisely, because we're doing it in consideration that we do it for everyone. And that's not just the human beings, but all the other beings that live here with us. We are in symbiotic relationship with all that is. And we have to come from here to understand how we take care of it. We are caretakers, every one of us. And today, I'm so happy to be here because you're taking care of that spark. You're taking care of when anyone is lost or anyone lost their connection to who they are. You can help them find it again. And for that, I'm very, very, very grateful and honored to be here. So I'll just finish off with my Chumash invitation. Ko kelinur nurma henno. No yapti pakpawil alapa akiwa ana alish napti pakpawil komte kapkap. No ti pakpawil mupu ikilimu halawa mahalawa. No ti pakpawil nur au o kote. Nagti pagpawil ahiwo, nagti pagpawil akwit, nagti pagpawil muhu, nagti pagpawil yaknak, nagti pagpawil hus, knud, sespi, ayuwisik, kuwu, ko, hu, iwa. Nagti pagpawil alkuk, nagti pagpawil awo, nagti pagpawil tansen, nagti pagpawil ahima. Sumasimako. Blessings of health and happiness to everyone here present and everyone that you are in relationship with. That it goes beyond your blood. It goes beyond everyone that's sitting next to you, everyone that you've joined with in learning what you learned today, and it culminated in today's honoring. Meditante. Walk in peace. Be the expression of peace in everything you think, say, and do. Share your compassion and your understanding. I am so happy to begin this journey. I send you my love and my heart. Kwame, may it please you.
Thank you, Art. Please help me welcome our Provost and Interim President and CEO, Colin Marlaire.
Cut this down to about an hour, so strap in. Hello and good morning. Pacifica Graduate Institute community, families, friends, esteemed faculty and staff, distinguished members of our Board of Trustees, two of which who have joined us today, and most especially the graduating class of 2025, and I'll say that a bunch of times. Welcome to this moment of celebration, reflection, and transition. Today we gather not only to confer degrees, but to honor a journey. This commencement marks a ritual passage, a threshold moment in your lives as scholars, educators, artists, and thought leaders. It is both an ending and a beginning, a celebration of all you have accomplished and a calling toward what is yet to be created. As Pacifica approaches its 50th anniversary, we remain a place of deep purpose, a community rooted in soul and story, in inquiry and imagination. We are stewards of a living tradition that bridges past and future, scholarship and service, intellect and intuition. And it is through your efforts, your dedication, your perseverance, your vision, that tradition continues to grow. Today, we also take a moment to thank those whose care and sacrifice made this journey possible. Graduates, I invite you now to turn to those here with you today, family, friends, professors, mentors, and offer your gratitude. No one arrives at this moment alone. In that same spirit, let us honor the many staff and faculty who supported your academic path and helped bring today's celebration to life. I am here before you today in a dual role, as president and provost. As president, I'm here to celebrate your time at Pacifica, to extol the place of learning you chose to join, and above all, to inspire, hopefully, energize and honor you. As provost, I have a formal function and will also soon oversee a cherished right, the ceremonial presentation of your degree. But what is that degree? It is paper, yes, but it is so much more than that. It is your work, your achievement, your time, your sacrifice, your commitment. It is a title you now carry beside your name. And in the spirit of depth psychology, it is also a metaphor, one rich with meaning. These are interesting, complex, and even dizzying times. The only certainty is that things fall apart. The gyre, as the poet Yeats put it, is ever widening. But you are the center that will hold. The paper is a symbol, a mark hereby entered alongside your name in the archives of time that on this day, Saturday, May 24th, the story of you, already notable, exciting, noble, took another momentous step forward. You stepped forward with a mandate, and yes, with a voice, and we are all here in the sacred space to see what you will do next. Your Pacific education was not one of memorizing formulas or imparting answers, but rather learning ways of seeing, hearing, and being in the world. In this chaotic moment where much will change, the shallow rote answers taught in other disciplines at other places are far more likely to change faster than the depth of what you learned here. As you leave Pacifica's halls and step into new landscapes, I urge you to carry forward not just knowledge, but wisdom. Not just tools, but soul. Whether your path lies in clinical practice, research, teaching, the arts, community leadership, or beyond, stay rooted and stay bold. Our world needs more than solutions and solvers. It needs visionaries. In just a moment, we will hear from our esteemed commencement speaker, Kuma Ramsey Taum. His presence here with us is a gift. As a teacher, cultural steward, and visionary leader, Kuma brings the wisdom of oceanic traditions, navigational ways of knowing that for generations have guided peoples across vast and uncertain waters. I can think of no better voice to speak at this moment of transition in the unknown. Kuma reminds us that old maps may not serve new terrains, that we must cultivate new compasses to navigate evolving realities, and that success is not merely about solving problems, but about imagining new vessels, new ways of being in the world that can carry us through rising tides. So let us receive his words with open hearts and minds, trusting that they will inspire you as they inspire us to move forward with courage, creativity, and care. Please join me in welcoming and aloha to our 2025 commencement speaker, Kuma Ramsey Taum.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that. I'm not sure I recognize the person you just introduced me to. But as we say in Hawaii, aloha. Aloha mai ka ako. Go ahead. Have you been to Hawaii? Let's hear it. Aloha. Thank you. You know, that word is not just a greeting. It's a way of being. It's a presence. It's a philosophy. When we say aloha, what we're saying is to be in the presence of the divine spirit, the divine breath that is in all of us. It's what connects us. As the words that I heard from our elder earlier, mahalo, gratitude, thank you for that. Because it reminds us that we are all in relation while we live in a world of transactions. The challenge is, how do we build on these relationships in a world of transactions, especially one that is steeped in fear and debt? Yet our communities, our native communities, have lived in a world of abundance and sustainability. They seem like an odd pairing, don't you think? So thank you for inviting me to come and share these thoughts with you. And I think I probably owed Dr. Rhodia some thanks for submitting my name. So, mahalo. See, I don't go where I'm not invited. You might want to consider that one. You see, in Hawaii, or at least in our native communities, there's really two ways, I should say, of engaging native communities, or communities at large, and that's by invitation or invasion. And even when you're invited, you have to be careful, especially when you're invited to dinner, and make sure you're not on the menu. So thank you. I noticed the menu and I wasn't on it, so I appreciate it. But let me greet you in the way our kupuna, our elders, would, by simply saying this: E holukono no ki kino ame ka ohane. He maala mapono kamana o ki ola ke kino I kamana va'apauloa. Aloha, aloha, aloha. That will be on the test later, and you will have to write that to get out. You know, in those words, what it says is to unify mind, body, and spirit. And in doing so, we become pono, aligned. This is about an alignment of things. The second part of that phraseology says to nurture, care for, and maintain that relationship through all time. It says that we're all connected. Not just when we're here, but when we leave this space and enter into that great ocean of opportunity. It's interesting that I stand here before you as a Pacific Islander on the coast of the Pacific. Where some live on the coast, we live in the ocean. And as a result of that perspective, I share with you my thoughts and reflections that represent a worldview called an island worldview, rather than a continental worldview. I suggest that they may not be better or worse than the other, but may be different. When you live in something versus on something, your relationship with it is quite different. It's funny because right now we're living in a world where we're concerned about sea level rise. Have you heard about that yet? Has that got here yet? Yeah. Sea level rise. The ocean is rising. See, for us, that's mother coming home. See, when you have that relationship with it as mother, you take a different approach at receiving her versus developing walls. Imagine if you get the message, hey, mom's coming home, or grandmother's coming to live with us. Oh, you got the message, I see. See, there's some of us who begin to look at building walls to keep her out, which seems to be the prevailing conversation these days, is everyone trying to protect their properties. I've been in many conferences of sustainability and things, and it's about insurance. It's about rebuilding. It's about all these policies and practices. And not once do I ever hear anything about the ocean itself. Mother's coming home. The relationship with mother. So my question to you is, if you knew your mother's coming home, if she's not already living with you, would you be building a wall, or would you be creating opportunities to accommodate her being with you? I believe that's where we are. It's to understand that deep relationship between her and us. You know, we deal with the concepts of ownership. How do you own something that you're from? That's a very difficult concept for those of us that are steeped and deep in our native identities, to our places. Well, guess what? I'd like to offer this, that we're all indigenous to some place. Some of us may have forgotten our indigeneity and where we're from, but fortunately there's some of us that have remembered, and we are here to continue to share that relationship so that we do remember, as a hyphenated word, that reconnecting to ourselves and to one another for the good of all of us. See, because the way we operate in the Pacific, at least in Hawaii, is that we've reframed, redefined, and refocused our relationship to it. In fact, the Pacific is known for us as the blue continent. Something that connects, doesn't separate. And I say that because you are, as, and perhaps by default, the extended family of Pacifica, now part of the extended Ohana family of Pacific. So I stand here as a relative, welcome you on your voyage, your journey around this island called Earth, because we're all islanders. So if that's the case, then maybe it makes sense to listen to some island wisdom. As much as knowledge is out there in the world, there's a lot of knowing to know. For some reason, knowledge is outpacing wisdom. And I'd like to offer that if there is a kupuna, an elder, or someone that has contributed to your knowledge through their wisdom, take a moment to acknowledge them. Spend time with them. Because when we lose an elder, we lose a library. We don't just lose a book. And I was fortunate to have been mentored by numerous elders. That's why this ear looks a little longer than the other one. In fact, they still pull on it every now and then. Because they wanted to remind us, don't forget. In Hawaiian we say, don't forget the ono. Ono means the flavor, the taste. To remember what is good, what is inside. As my students now understand from me, life should be ono. Should be flavorful, should be tasty. Should be something that we look forward to. Don't forget the ono. But we also say that life is an inside job. It's an inside job because there isn't anything out there that isn't ultimately going to be processed through the light touching the optic nerve, or a sound touching the eardrum, a flavor touching your tongue, or a fragrance touching your olfactory nerve. It's all touch. Light, wind may touch our skin, but it's the words of a mother. It's the words of a friend, a supporter, a faculty member that took special interest in you, that touches your heart. And it is aloha. It is aloha that touches us all. And I'm here today as a message of aloha. That we are now living in a time that one of my elders and many elders have predicted, that our island Earth would be experiencing illness, disease, dis-ease, disorder, and discontentment. And we can't continue the practice of fixing it. Instead, it needs to be healed. This is a healing practice. And as Auntie Pelahi told me, Mahelani, my Hawaiian given name, says, Mahelani, at some point in time, it is Hawaii and aloha that will contribute to this healing. And as now, as you venture out into this new voyage, the continuation of the one you've already started, I offer you that as a compass. Because the maps have completely changed. I'm not sure about you, but things have changed, haven't they? And the reality is, the context in which the content we've been exploring has completely changed. It's changing rapidly. The context we're going into is going to require new content, which requires each of us to question the very thing that we're bringing into this space. Is it one of healing, or is it one of fixing? Can we all see the island? This is one of our elders' principles of navigation. Can you see the island as you get into your new canoe? We're all in the same canoe. We don't throw people off the canoe. You can jump. We'll try to bring you back. But we don't throw people off the canoe. Why? Because we all have kuleana, responsibility to the canoe, to one another, and to the island. And hopefully we can voyage and travel together with aloha. And that when someone does misstep, or someone does find themselves hanging over the edge, that we can bring them back with aloha. Because this is about all hands on deck. We need everyone. There are multiple truths. Their truth, his truth, my truth, your truth. But when do we start talking about our truth? When do we move to the posture of we rather than just focusing on me? To edify the me. I think we've done really a lot of that recently. And that's why we perhaps find ourselves where we are. But is there an opportunity for us to establish new compasses, new directions, and recognize that the orientation to the old maps are no longer relevant? If that's the case, what is? What does the island look like? And I'm here to suggest that an island that is operating with the spirit of aloha could be a good place to be. Would you agree? Thank you. So let me ask you this. Well, let's do this exercise. This is a quick one, all right? Say this after me. What is it about me that allows me to see in you what bugs me about you? Caught that way. Explain that to the next guy, will you? Think about that. We just said, what is it about me that allows me to see you in a way that bugs me about you? Which is very different than say, you bug me. Isn't that the prevailing methodology? We blame it. I bring that in because part of your program, I think, is this inside job, is asking the question, really, what is it about me that I brought to this situation that is creating what I'm now seeing in this mirror? Right? Which means if I don't like what I see outside, what did I put in front of the mirror? And how to begin to shift that? What is it about me? What did I bring into the situation that is creating this tension, this fear, this anxiety? or maybe the aspiration. What is it about me? What can I begin to do? So what is it about us that we can bring into this new space in this voyage? So I borrow from this poet. I believe his name is Marcel Proust. If you've heard this before, bear with me. But he talks about a voyage, and he says, a voyage of discovery is less about seeing new landscapes, but really about developing new eyes. I think that's what education's about, right? You're not going back to the world you just came from. Hopefully you're going back to a different world because your eyes have changed. If anything, your faculty, your family and friends have helped to shape those lenses in such a way that we begin to see it differently, because it is different. And if I go back to the concept, what is it about me that allows me to be the way I am because of what I heard, what I saw, what I was triggered by the external world, maybe then I can begin to navigate the inner space a little better than the outer one. Simply put, if we allow externalities to continue to define who we are, how we feel, how we think, isn't that a victimhood? Aren't we allowing ourselves to be victims of those externalities? If that's the case, we have choice. And you chose to be here. All of us chose to be here now. For whatever gift that is, we've chose that to be here. Now we can choose where we go next. Does that make sense, Eo? We're no longer the victim of our externalities because we have the ability to turn in to the inner space rather than be driven by the outer space. So I'm hoping, in looking at the wonderful new graduates, it's the same thing I saw when my 2-year granddaughter was born, just less than 2 years ago. And when she entered into the world, a cadre of new souls came in. And what it gave me was hope. Despite all of the things that are going on in the world today, it gave me hope because I looked at it from this perspective. This soul came from someplace with the perspective to see what was in front of her. And she still came. So she's either part of the problem or part of the solution. And I'd like to think she's part of the solution, as are all of the new souls that are coming in, that we have a responsibility to create a space for them to do their work and bring their gifts as you now step out, because it gives me hope that you can still go out and do these things. And we have choices. We don't have to be the followers, but we have choices because we can see, and hopefully with new lenses and with new eyes, and hopefully lenses that have been influenced a little by Aloha today. So I thank my ancestors, those great voyagers who recognized that whenever they went into the sea, they weren't going anywhere. What do I mean by that? Because when they put their canoe in the water, they weren't going to Tahiti. What they were doing was putting themselves on a trajectory. They knew that the earth was moving, and all they needed to do was make sure they positioned themselves so when it arrived, they were there. They were living a life of when, not if. And I offer that to you today, all of us that are here. If we can adopt a life of when, not if, we're no longer victims of if, but prepared for when it arrives, whenever that may be. And if it doesn't, that's okay. I was ready. If it does, let's do this. Does that make sense? So 2025, let's do this. You know, in numerology, I'm told, 2025 equals 9. And 9 is supposed to be the end of an old period and starting a new one. Quite appropriate on this, the 24th day of May, to start a new one. I really couldn't find anything that spoke to Aloha in the way that I wanted to. But then I went back to a gift my father gave me when I started on my voyage. I'd like to share that with you in this closing thought. Because for me, Aloha is a promise. It makes a promise that there is and can be better, that everything is for the good, as long as we can see it that way. So he shared this poem with me that I share with you in close. as I say congratulations. It's called Promise Yourself by Christian D. Larson. Some of you may have heard it. I think it embodies the message of aloha. And it goes like this. Promise yourself to be strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. To talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet. To make all your friends feel that there is something in them. To look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. To think only the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best. To be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. To forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. To wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile. To give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. To be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and just too happy to permit the presence of trouble. To think well of yourself and to proclaim this fact in the world, not in loud voices or cries or words, but through great deeds. To live in faith that the whole world is on your side. So long as you are true to the best that is in you. Promise yourself. Aloha, 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 and congratulations, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Kumu. Meaningful words for our graduates and all of us here to carry. As we soon transition, don't worry, we're almost at your part. As we soon transition to the presentation of our graduates, let us take a moment to recognize the faculty of our 9-degree programs, many of whom are on the stage or in the front rows here today. Some, as Dylan mentioned, were themselves graduates some long, long ago. As students have shared with me repeatedly in my conversations with them, Pacifica would not be the special place it is without our faculty. Carriers of wisdom, facilitators of thought, and mentors of caring relationships. While I would love to name and spotlight each and every one of them, I do here want to acknowledge some of our more long-standing faculty. Lionel Corbett, Glenn Slater, saw it today, Kathy Miller, Pat Katsky, Elizabeth Nelson, and Lance Smith have all been here at Pacifica for at least 20 years, some nearing 30. We also have faculty such as Emily Lord Cambish, Monica Modi, William James Jones, all on stage today, along with other faculty here today who have been with us less than 5 years. I think that spectrum speaks to the strength of Pacifica. 1 foot firmly rooted in our past, in our traditions, in our core, in our depth, and one stepping into an ever-evolving future. Thank you to our program chairs, faculty, advisors, and staff for their unwavering dedication in guiding these graduates to this momentous day. In alignment with the personal nature of the Pacifica experience, we will have those that know our graduates best, their faculty, their chairs, their advocates, be the ones to read their names as they cross the stage. Pacifica celebrates the individual, the personal, and I hope you will all join in the celebration of each graduate as they come across. We will now begin the presentation of the graduates by degree program. We will ask our graduates to follow the designated flow through this process as your program is called, your names are read, and you make your way across the stage to be recognized and hooded. Conducting the hooding on stage today will be Dr. Emily Lord Cambish from our Faculty Senate and Associate Chair of Mythological Studies. To begin the presentation of our graduates, let me introduce Dr. Maria Wood, Chair of the Depth Psychology and Creativity Program with emphasis in the arts and humanities. Dr. Wood.
Thank you, Colin, and good morning, everyone. I have the pleasure and the anxiety of, yes, it's real, of being the first faculty presenter today, especially immediately after our amazing guest, Ramsey. In just a few minutes, I'll be inviting our first group of graduates to approach the stage. But before I do that, I want to take just a few moments to acknowledge the perilous time that we are all facing as Americans, especially those of us whose vocations lie within the arts and the humanities. It's no accident that artists, scholars, and researchers are being targeted in an effort to silence us. Over 20 years ago, the novelist Toni Morrison explained that authoritarians and despots move instinctively to limit imagination and critical thinking so that they can consolidate their grip on power. What we've been seeing since January should not be a surprise, yet it shocks us to the core. This shock can lead to what James Hillman called psychic numbing, a paralyzing normality that can take hold of an entire society. Our DCH graduates know that some of the most potent antidotes to psychic numbing lie in creative expression, in personal and collective creative work propelled by courage and love. The artists, writers, ritualists, dancers, songwriters, mentors, and entrepreneurs that called the DCH program home are modern-day alchemists and spiritual activists. Through their acts of love and courage, they hold the power to awaken us to collective action. These are acts of blessing as much as they are activism. The graduates that will soon cross this stage have already blessed and transformed our program with their fine scholarship, fierce creativity, courageous vulnerability, and loving presence. May they too be blessed. May you all be blessed in every possible way. So now I would like to invite the first 3 rows in this section here to please stand. Here they come, everybody. No need to stay so quiet. Come on. Hey. So every year, a particular student has the pleasure and the anxiety of being first. This year, I welcome Genevieve Truerbach. Genevieve Truerbach, Seagull.
Congratulations, kids. Good job.
We have a very small contingent from DCH this year. Genevieve. So now I would like to turn the podium over to Dr. Juliet Rhodey Brown.
Thank you, Mary. So I'm Juliet Rhodey Brown. I'm the chair of the doctoral specialization in depth psychology, integrative therapy, and healing practices. This program uniquely synthesizes the foundational frameworks and applications of depth psychology while exploring ways of knowing that have emerged from the world's healing traditions. Most students are deepening into the practices they've already established while valuing and bringing into their personal and professional mosaic the understanding of archetypal patterns, mythological motifs, shadow aspects, complexes, synchronicity, dream work, and transcendent potentials in individual and collective contexts. Jung spoke about the spirit of the depths, and that is what we nurture here. So as I'm about to bring you our graduates, I want to say to you graduates, you are integrating diverse perspectives that respond to the challenges of reducing suffering in this world. May you celebrate your accomplishment with joy and thrive in your personal and professional endeavors. And so with that said, I would like to introduce our first receiver of the diploma in integrative therapy and healing practices. I'll be saying the names and the dissertation titles. Everly Elizabeth Horner, healing the LGBTQ soul from shame, the queer complex, and how yoga and depth psychology can help. Angelina H. Rodriguez, the Ofrenda Ritual, Bridging Art and Death. Kirsten Hecker, Behind Closed Doors, on covert aggression and the abuse of power by women in the workplace. Sonia Kazanjian, stifled voices of my ancestors, Armenian orphans then and now.
Thank you so much.
Teresa Renee Wilson Hastings, sabotaging Aphrodite, sex and self-harm. Nancy Shiloh Sanchez Lomeli, Ancient threads, digital webs, navigating psyche and smartphone use in young people. Congratulations, DPT graduates. And now it is my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Dr. Monica Modi.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Monica Modi, chair of the Mythological Studies MA PhD program. And I am pleased to congratulate our extraordinary graduates, a few of whom are with us today. Graduates of our Mythological Studies program understand change. They come to understand it intimately through the mythic, archetypal, and sacred energies and patterns their psyche befriends as they go through the program, engaging with scholarship, ritual, self-inquiry, storytelling, and practice. It is with pride, I say, that our graduating students have made friends with the powers of transformation, with the art of allowing and shaping change. As you stand ready at this threshold to take the step forward, having completed your studies, are ready to begin writing your dissertations, my hope is you remember and help us all remember that you are the stories. Yours are the stories the earth needs. That the underworld activates gifts of wisdom and insight, and that chaos leads every time to a reordering of the world. I celebrate the remarkable medicine you be, become, and bring. Before inviting the graduates on stage, I am honored to announce a posthumous doctoral award to James Peters, the late Dr. James Peters, for his dissertation titled The Better Angels of Our Nature, Utopian Mythology in American Literature. And now it is my pleasure to present to you the candidates for the Master of Arts in Mythological Studies. Aida Kali Kizu Japerku. Jasmine Gilbert. Julie Marie Caesar.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you.
Elizabeth Andres. And now it is my privilege to present to you the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy in Mythological Studies. Paige Bigelow, dissertation title, Care of the Soul and the Examined Life. Kiesa Mary Hill, The Alchemy of John Milton's Paradise Lost, The Transformational Power of Storytelling. Latanya M. Dixon. Latanya M. Dixon, Rising from Trauma, Embracing Love, Joy, and the Divine Feminine Gifts of Oshun and Tara. Nathan Davis, The Alchemy of Story, the scientific and mythic underpinnings behind humanity's narrative sense. Congratulations, mid-graduates! And now I'll call Dr. Nuria Siofalo to do the presentations.
Buenos dias, everybody. In our community of learners, we begin by acknowledging that Pacifica Graduate Institute sits in unceded Chumash land. And we are grateful for the everyday inspiration that they are giving us when we are on campus, their legacies, past and present contributions. They have also inspired us through our 4 directions: the community, liberation, indigenous, and eco-psychology's specialization, to commit to center non-Western, indigenous, and also called Global South cosmovisions, epistemologies, research, and praxis through pluriversality instead of universality, to see a world in which many worlds can coexist, an advice from the Zapatista movement in Mexico, where I'm from. Our graduates who could not be here, but those who are, gift us with testimonies of integration and application of these values, philosophies, cosmovisions, and our 4 directions. This is evident in the work of our graduate who is here today. With Karin Silton, who gifted us a dissertation entitled You Woke Me Up, Experiences of Arts for Well-Being in Community alongside unhoused women at the Downtown Women's Center, Skid Row, Los Angeles. And now I introduce Dr. Whitney Dunbar with the depth psychology and somatic studies. Thank you.
The somatic studies specialization is uniquely grounded in the tradition of depth psychology, with its emphasis on the unconscious, imagery, archetypes, and dreams. From that ground, students in the program have explored the intersections between body and psyche, connect images to sensation through active imagination, and follow the dance of their dreams. They study the body's role in the process of individuation and consider how physical symptoms may speak for the soul. You're welcome. We have Sarah Elizabeth Lovett, stepping in and out of character investigating the embodiment of shared flesh in the self-care of the actor.
Thank you.
We have Nusa Mal, The Lived Experience of Synesthesia, Portraits of People Making a Multisensory Difference. And now I'm returning the pulpit to Dr. Dylan Francesco.
Welcome, graduates of the Jungian Archetypal Studies specialization of the MA PhD program in depth psychology. Our program was born of a vision of depth psychology as integral to all professions and domains of life. In other words, as a way of life. Our students take a systematic and transformative academic and personal journey through the major conceptual and experiential aspects of depth psychology, from archetypes to imagination to myth, dreams, synchronicity, psychological types, eco-psychology, and archetypal astrology. This journey is not one of indoctrination into a belief system. It is a journey into a field of study, a journey of inquiry, engagement, questioning, dialogue, and critique, a journey of education in the original sense of the term, as a task of drawing out, or as we would say, of becoming conscious of the fullness and variety of the soul, how it is at work in every aspect of our lives, and what claims it makes on us. And for us, this isn't just a personal task, but a cultural and global task, because ultimately, from our perspective, personal well-being is interdependent with not just the conditions of other human beings, but with our relations with the lands, plants, animals, and every element of this earth and cosmos. In other words, interdependent with our relationship with the soul of the world. And for us to live well with the soul of the world is how we become better than perfect. It is how we all and the world together become whole. This is the vision our graduates carry, and I thank you for carrying it into the world. I will now read our master's degree graduates. Natalie Eugenia Webster. Ron Meru Camacho. Nicole Malia Kaliava'a. Amy Plant Rossi. Sorry. Catherine McKenna Klein. I now introduce my colleague, Dr. Saffron Rossi, to read the names of our doctoral degree graduates.
Jody S. Berger, The Archetypal Shadow, a Jungian analysis of manifestations and implications for contemporary American education. Vanessa Page Jankowski, Modern Challenges of Consciousness According to Jung, von Franz, Hillman, and Woodman. Claire Tiampo Savage, Jung and Nicolescu, The Play of Opposites and the Spark of Life. Susan Persing, A Mythopoetic Journey with Magdalene into the Heart of an Individuating Trinitarian God Image. Charlie N. Keller, Imagining from the Margins, an Archetypal Perspective of Lesbian Love in Texan and American Culture. Laura Cheney, The Self and the Holo Movement, C.G. Jung's self-archetype and David Bohm's Holo Movement as an alternative worldview. Jesse Thompson, Doing Justice to Ourselves and Others, a Jungian Examination. Congratulations to the graduates of the Jungian and Archetypal Studies program. I'd like to now welcome my colleague, Dr. William James Jones.
Oh, to our esteemed graduates, faculty, family, and friends, what a tremendous honor it is to stand before you today as a proud alumnus of the clinical PhD program in 2016. Yeah, you can clap for that. Yes. It is particularly special for me to help you cross the finish line and complete your rite of passage into the field of clinical psychology with a depth emphasis. Graduates, as you sit here or stand here, adorned in your regalia, I see not just graduates, but pioneers, healers, and future leaders in the field of clinical psychology. You have navigated rigorous coursework, countless research hours, and the profound complexities of the human psyche. You have grappled with theory and practice, faced challenges head-on, and emerged stronger, more resilient, and more compassionate than ever. As you step into the next chapter, carry with you the spirit of curiosity, the commitment to empathy, and the courage to challenge the status quo. The world needs your psychological expertise, your insights, and your dedication to mental health. Your journey doesn't end here. It transforms. You will become professors, mentors, clinicians, supervisors, researchers, advocates, and maybe even come back to teach for the program like me. Or like Dr. Jesse Jacob. Yes. He's a graduate of our clinical program and now serves as director of our clinical training for our Society Counseling Program. Dr. Jacobs, you wave to the people here. Yes. You see, it's possible to come back and work here and still smile. You will all touch lives in ways you cannot imagine. Congratulations to each and every one of you. We, the faculty and staff, are incredibly proud of your achievements and excited to see all that you will accomplish. Go forth, tending the soul in and of the world. Congratulations. Austin Chandler. Sydney Chatterton. Kelsey Heron. Zia Inanem Dernin. Emily Forshey. Yes, Kimberly. Kimberly Lou. Daisy Mae Pesci. Cassie Buckingham. Erin Jinder Shaw. And now I will also introduce our newly minted clinical psychologists and their dissertation titles. Come on up, Elizabeth Altman, Finding an Autoethnographic Exploration of the Internal and External Journey. I'd love to read that. Leah Carranza Heraclius, Modern Shamanism, the Importation of Sacred Indigenous Practices in Western-Centric Societies. Stella Danette, Individuation in Addiction Recovery, an Archetypal Astrological Perspective. Lou Bigelow, Awareness of spirit in the therapy room and alchemical hermeneutic study. Jessica Roy. Mother as Village, a hermeneutic investigation of the normalization of maternal burnout. Rosalie Hebero, creativity, a state of being. Jack E. Mendoza, coming home, migration and individuation. Jordan June, the apostasy, awakening, challenging, and healing from Christian colonialism. Alice Suzanne Reeder, intimate partner violence and maternal representations. This is from our Side E program. So sorry about that. Feli Hilliard Roof. Being LGBTQ plus and Christian, inquiring deeply about the process of authentic transformation. Casey Justin Simon, efficacy of treatment modalities for borderline personality disorder, a systemic review and network meta-analysis of DBT, TFP, and MBT. Alberto Adrian Colon, making meaning of combat-related PTSD nightmares. All right. Now, I will bring up the interim co-chairs of the Counseling Psychology Program, Joya Jacobson and Elizabeth Gonella.
Good afternoon. We'd ask the first 3 rows of our MA Counseling graduates to please stand, and ushers will help you line up. To our esteemed graduates here today to obtain their Master of Arts in Counseling Psychology, and their loved ones, their individual mycelial networks, here today to witness this threshold crossing. We're honored to have supported you in this journey as interim co-chairs and faculty members of the department. On behalf of all of our colleagues, we congratulate you on your tremendous achievement. Countless hours of study, paper writing, capstone completion culminate today.
This program requires introspection, grit, and psychoactive engagement that makes room for a deeper understanding of self and the world. We could not be prouder to celebrate your participation in that work today and send you out into the world with all of your individual and collective knowledge and depth to be agents of healing and understanding in the world. And I am going to present the C-Track graduates for the Counseling Psychology program. Christopher Jeffrey Linkenbach. Alex Rendall. Greg Doris. Chloe Johnson. Natalie Rimpolsky. Elena Gold. Kristen Robert. Callan.
You can say gay.
Gordon.
Callan. There's just one Callan here.
Catherine Hather Jones. Sylvie Huang. Luca Donati. Maximilian Steffen. Sean McCauley. Aaron Heller. Jonathan Chapman. Margot Paradis. Leah Ray Dworkin. Christy Nicole Scarson. Ruby Hall Johnstone. Nagar Siada Nejad. Angela Bracunier. Hugh Cook.
You ready? We'll wait a beat. All right. Congratulations, C-Track. Now welcoming our D-Track graduates to the stage. Woo! Beginning with Christina Yergel. Yay! Joseph Wayne Moore. Kara Rachel Haggerty. Charlie Galley. Max Goff. Trevor Bellin. Nicole Schiller. Jessica Amber Forbes. Danielle Tulane. Jeanette Hamming. Bridget Becker. Megan Colleen Johnson.
I'm here.
You're here.
Here, I made it.
Absolutely.
A long road.
Mark Bartosh. Marco Nagar. Marco? Yep. Polo? No? Maximilian Julian Maslansky. Allison Wilkie. Megan Matos. Stevie Weinstein Foner. Mariam Dolatshahi Friedman. Izzy Glicksberg. William Stewart Barenberg. Shari Corgle Morris. Andrew Schaus. Lisa Leventhal. Nizam Farmayan Ardalan. Samantha Thomas. Sloan Hofer. Lily Madeline Disher. Natalia Smith Martinez. Saher Ahmad.
Congratulations to our D-Track graduates, the butterflies. I will now present our V-Track graduates. Julia Carpenter. Tani de Sterios. Bruria Vitale. Hannah Rose Hanrahan. Marina K. Yvonne Georgina Puig. Roya Pasqualone.
That smile. Roya.
Wendy King Wardlaw. Willow Michelle Renee. Tracy Navarra. Andrew Husky.
Yeah, brother!
Orion Boucher. Laura Miola.
All right. Congratulations to our V-Track graduates. Last but certainly not least, W-Track. Amber Giusti. Emma Flannery Goodfield. Claudia Diamond. Emily Gaston. Diane Cruz. Carly Johnson. Madeline Vonderlin. Viviana Delaney. Rose Marie Brownridge. Lara French. Naomi Lynn Hunter. Amanda Flores Schrey. Mary McKee. Emily Peterson. Congratulations to our Track W graduates and all of the MA counseling grads. I'd now like to invite Dr. Colin Marlaire back to the podium to confer the degrees.
Don't worry, folks. We are nearing the home stretch here, okay? You got your degrees, no taking back at this point. We have now arrived at the final ritual of commencement, the turning of the tassels. I now ask the graduates to please rise. It is time for our graduates to move your tassels from the right side to the left side of your cap, signifying the transition from student to graduate. This collective moment unites you all in shared achievement and purpose, with the tassel now resting closer to your heart. Symbolizes the soulful purpose of your education at Pacifica and the meaningful work you will do in the world. Graduates, please turn and face the audience. I am proud to present the 2025 graduating class of Pacifica Graduate Institute.